Are you hoping to raise your baby to be fluent in more than one language? In this video, I'll share my top 5 tips for parents who aspire to raise a bilingual or even trilingual baby. You'll take away practical advice that you can implement straight away. Without further ado, let's get started. Tip number 1. Language learning starts in the womb. To viewers who are still expecting their first baby, congratulations! Now is the perfect time to start. Remember, language acquisition starts before birth. Studies have shown that babies can recognize their mother's voice while still in their mother's belly. This early exposure to the melody and rhythm of language sets the stage for future linguistic development. In short, babies begin to make sense of language and take their first baby steps towards speech and socialization before they are even born. By 6 months of age, infants already display preferences for sounds in their native language over those in foreign languages. By the end of the first year, they no longer respond to phonetic elements peculiar to non-native languages. That's why those prenatal months are so important. Start talking to your baby in your target language today to help your baby familiarize themselves with mummy's loving voice and the sounds of the language you would like them to acquire. By taking these small baby steps, you will be laying the groundwork for language acquisition further down the line. Tip number 2, start planning your language strategy during pregnancy. As with everything else in life, it always helps to have a plan. That's why it's advisable to start thinking about how you and your partner will go about raising your child to speak more than one language. Planning can begin during pregnancy as parents consider which languages they want their child to learn and how they will implement this multilingual environment. It's essential to discuss and establish a language strategy that aligns with the family's cultural background, values, and lifestyle. Broadly speaking, there are 3 main strategies that are commonly adopted by parents who wish to raise bilingual, trilingual, or multilingual children. I delve into this topic in much greater detail in a separate video. The link is in the description box below if you want to check it out. So for the purpose of this video, here's a quick summary of the 3 strategies. One parent, one language. The one parent, one language method involves each parent consistently speaking to their child exclusively in their respective language. Typically, these would be each parent's native language, but it's not necessarily the case. One parent, one language is often the preferred method of parents raising trilingual children. Our family is an example of this. I speak to the children exclusively in Mandarin, while my husband speaks to them exclusively in Russian. They get English from the wider community. Minority language at home. The minority language at home method involves using a language other than the majority language of the community within the home environment. This approach is aimed at ensuring the child's proficiency in a language that might otherwise be less prevalent in their surroundings. Notably, minority language at home is a very effective strategy for raising bilingual children. Research shows that up to 70% of families who practice this method succeed in passing on the minority language to their children. Time and place strategy. Using the time and place strategy, the parents would separate the languages used with the child either by time or by place, or both, which means that in theory there's no upper limit to the number of languages used. While it's a good idea to decide early on which strategy you would like to adopt, parents should also bear in mind that nothing is set in stone, of course. Your family's language strategy will evolve alongside your child's needs, growth, development, and the family's circumstances. Think of it as a blueprint to help you get started. And I've got some good news. You can download my free language strategy planner and start devising a language strategy for your family today. The link is in the description box below. Check it out. Let's take a short break for a second. If you're enjoying this video so far, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel so more people like you can discover and benefit from the content we create. Thank you so much. Tip number 3, introducing target languages from day 1. One common question I get is this: how soon should I introduce the target language? Will exposing my baby to more than one language from day one confuse them? The short answer is no, it won't confuse them, and you can absolutely start introducing the target language or languages from day one. Babies are uniquely equipped to learn 2 or more languages from birth without confusion, due to their remarkable cognitive flexibility and adaptability. Their brains are wired to distinguish and process different sounds and patterns, making it natural for them to pick up multiple languages simultaneously. Additionally, babies are highly attuned to social cues and context, allowing them to effortlessly switch between languages based on who they are communicating with, whether it's a parent, caregiver, or another family member. For these reasons, I encourage parents to embrace bilingualism or trilingualism, if that applies to you, from the day your child is born. Start speaking to them in your chosen language. Start looking at board books in your language together. Start singing nursery rhymes to your baby and watch them delight in the beautiful sounds of your chosen language, made even more special by their parents' uniquely loving voices. Don't think of this as teaching your baby a language. Think of this as an opportunity to strengthen and nurture that precious and natural bond between parent and child, with language benefits as a bonus. Number 4, don't worry about the majority language. In multilingual households, there is often a predominant or majority language spoken in the community. For example, my husband and I are raising our children to speak Mandarin and Russian while living in the UK, an English-speaking country. In our case, English is the majority language or community language. Many parents are understandably concerned that speaking to their child exclusively in the minority language will hinder the child's ability to function in wider society. For example, to communicate with their peers and teachers at daycare. However, based on my own experience and observation, these worries are mostly unwarranted. Almost without exception, children will always learn to speak the majority language spoken by their peers at school. Take my daughter as an example. When she started going to nursery daycare part-time, aged 20 months, I was slightly concerned that she might struggle to communicate with her friends and the staff at her nursery. At this point in time, she interacted with me only in Mandarin, and I don't remember hearing her speak English often, if at all. However, my concerns quickly dissipated as she seamlessly adjusted to daycare, effortlessly picking up English within a few months. This is the pattern I see repeatedly with many other multilingual families. Despite the parents' worries and the difficulty a child might initially face when trying to learn the majority language, the child will inevitably acquire the majority language with little effort. Don't take my word for it. Anecdotal evidence isn't science after all. Several studies have demonstrated that children raised bilingually are able to successfully learn the majority language of their community. A study conducted by Barbara Zura Pearson and Sylvia C. Fernandez in 1994, which focused on Spanish-English bilingual children in the US, found that bilingual children, even when they started school with limited English proficiency, were able to catch up to their monolingual peers in English language proficiency by the 3rd grade. Another study conducted by Sharon Unsworth on the other side of the Atlantic in 2016 looked at English-speaking children in Wales who were learning Welsh as a second language. It found that these children were able to achieve high levels of proficiency in both languages, demonstrating that exposure to a minority language did not hinder the acquisition of the majority language. Studies suggest that children raised in bilingual environments are not only capable of learning the majority language of their community, but can often reach similar levels of proficiency as monolingual children. In short, in most cases, it is the minority language that requires support and reinforcement at home. In fact, children often lose their home language a year or so after school. So my advice to expectant parents is to focus on the home language / minority language, safe in the confidence that the majority language will come effortlessly from the community. Tip number 5, embrace play-based learning. Have you noticed that kittens and puppies love engaging in play just as much as human children do? Play is a crucial part of the learning process for all juvenile mammals, and this phenomenon is particularly pronounced in humans, which as a species is characterized by an exceptionally long childhood. In recent years, researchers have increasingly converged on the conclusion that play isn't only beneficial to children's physical and mental development, but is in fact absolutely crucial. Contrary to the widely held belief that play is just entertainment, there is now academic consensus that play is a vital component of learning, offering children a natural and engaging way to explore, experiment, and develop crucial skills. Therefore, at the baby stage, parents should incorporate lots of play-based learning activities into daily routine, which will make language learning enjoyable and natural for children. It is absolutely not necessary to make them sit in front of a textbook or attempt to hold a pen when they can barely walk. Play-based learning can take various forms, such as games, songs, storytelling, and sensory play. In a separate video, I give my viewers 7 free and simple activity ideas that parents can do with their baby or toddler to boost their language learning. Check it out! I hope you have found this video helpful. There is no better time to start your multilingual parenting journey than pregnancy and the baby years. Start today and help your child unlock the language potential and reap the benefits that bilingualism and multilingualism can bring. You can find plenty more useful and free resources on my website and my YouTube channel. Also, check out my book, Bilingual and Trilingual Parenting 101, which guides parents through the process of raising multilingual children step by step, written in an easy-to-read and highly accessible style. Also, check out my Everyday Life, a bilingual picture book my sister and I have created that multilingual families can easily incorporate into their daily reading routine to bring the joy of reading into languages into their everyday life. Thank you for watching today's video. Please share in the comments below if you have any questions or suggestions. Thank you. See you next time. Bye bye. 再见. Baka baka.